Here are 3 mistakes you may be making when you're trying to do public speaking. A lot of times when we try to speak, one of the reasons why you start falling into a panic mode is because you think that silence is your enemy. How does that look and how does that feel when you're trying to speak? Well, you start speaking and then all of a sudden you start thinking, oh my God, what do I say? What are they gonna think? And then you start rambling on because you think that if you take a pause, you will look bad in front of the audience. So the belief that you have is that you think that you have to be speaking every second of the time that you are in front of the audience, and that is not true. As a matter of fact, if you begin taking pauses when you speak and be comfortable in the silence, it will make you a better speaker. Here are a few examples why I say that. When you take a pause, it helps you to think about what you want to say next. Just like I did right there and then. I don't have a script right now. I'm just going off the top of my head. And it is necessary for me to take that 1 second for me to think about the next word that I'm going to say. When you don't take the pause, this is what occurs. Some people actually say 3 times in order to fill in that gap of silence that they need to think about the next word. But when you use those filler sounds, you look unprepared. So get rid of those and instead take the pause and then say the next word. Also, when you take a pause of silence, you are also able to emphasize better what you're saying next. You can say, for example, you can take this opportunity and change your entire life. That's one example. I didn't take a pause. Now listen and watch how it looks when you take a pause. You can take this opportunity and change your life. Do you see that? The pause of silence that I took right there and then helps emphasize the next point, which is very important when delivering your message. And last but not least, when you take a pause of silence, again, it's another way of emphasizing the importance of what it is that you're saying. Picture a couple, a wife and a husband, or a partner and 2 partners, taking care of the groceries. And the wife says, or the partner says, can I have the tomatoes? And then she puts them in the refrigerator. Can I have the milk? And she puts it in the refrigerator. And then she says, by the way, I want a divorce. Can I have the bananas? And she puts it away. Imagine that. That's not the way that it would occur. It would be like this. I think I want a divorce. And there will be a pause of silence because it is that important. So when you're speaking, start using silence as your partner when you speak and get rid of this belief that you must be speaking at every single moment when you're in front of the audience. And if you learn how to use silence appropriately, you will sound more confident and you will deliver your message even better. The second mistake that you are committing right now when you speak is that you don't have the systems in place to develop the mental discipline to control your mind. Right now, if you are somebody that has challenges speaking, what is occurring is that you have a mental pattern established in your mind that takes over every time you're trying to speak. And that is the pattern that leads you into anxiety, fear, etc. So what you must do is basically get in front of that pattern. But you have to put in place systems in your daily life that will help you develop the identity of being a speaker. You see, being a public speaker is about developing an identity for you to see yourself as a public speaker. Right now, a lot of you are seeing public speaking from a third-party perspective, meaning you are a person trying to do public speaking. That's the way you see it. Instead, you should be looking at it as I am a speaker and I am speaking. And to do that, you gotta make use of the most powerful phrase in the English language, or one of the most powerful phrases, which is I am. I am a public speaker. I am great at speaking. You see what I mean? You gotta establish systems in your daily life that will continue to develop the speaker identity and will start getting rid of that mental pattern that you have in your mind. Which brings me to the third mistake that you may be doing, which is you are set in your mind to go into a panic mode because you have a negative perspective about public speaking. Now, I understand why that occurs, and understandably so, because you have had bad experiences in the past when you try to do public speaking or when you were trying to speak at your staff meeting, etc. Because of that, you already have developed this belief that takes you into a negative space right away, even just by thinking of public speaking. So one of the things that I help my clients do, and something that will help you a lot, is to begin developing a positive perspective about public speaking as an experience. Now, you might say, well, Pablo, how can I do that? I don't know how to do that. Well, you have done it. It's just that you have been unintentional when you've done it, and you have done it in the opposite direction. I'll prove it to you. How many times have you said, I am not a good public speaker? I am not good at speaking in front of people. Oh, public speaking, I suck at it. How many times have you said that? You have programmed yourself to acquire a negative perspective and experience of public speaking. So your mind has no other choice but to accept the directives that you have been given it, which is, I am bad at public speaking sucks, etc., etc. So you must begin establishing some daily systems that help you develop a positive perspective about public speaking, that starts making you feel great about public speaking. One thing that you can do is, I want you to write down why it is that you must be a great public speaker. Why do you want to do that? What's the purpose behind that? Is it because you want to be a speaker that makes a living from it? Is it because you want your boss, maybe at work, to really listen to your points of view so that you can have a leg up when the promotions come around? Is it because you just feel that as a person, you must be more confident when you speak so that others will listen? What is your reason why you must be a better public speaker? Become crystal clear about what that reason is and write it down and begin connecting public speaking to that outcome so that you will start building a positive perception of public speaking. Because remember, when you have a big why, the how, the when, and the where become easier. So those are the 3 things that you can start working on. I hope this was useful. As a matter of fact, I know this is very useful. And if you have any questions, send me a message. See you at the top where the champions belong.